What's up, it's your boy Luke. A brand new episode of Family Talk starts now. Hey, what's up, it's your boy Luke, and welcome to a brand new episode of Family Talk. NAACP Awards and Black Male Public Figures in 2024 discussion. So, yeah, there's a lot to say in this episode. Nothing bad. I'm just like, okay, where do we even start? So, yeah, I want to talk about the NAACP Awards, and Black Male Public Figures during this year in 2024, of course. So I'm going to start out with the experiences I do have with the NAACP and what I'm going to talk about regarding them as well. So I've attended a meeting with the NAACP member, and I am a proud member and have been voting for the NAACP Image Awards for years. So I am a part of the, I don't know what it's called officially. I don't even know what it's called, but I know I'm a part of it in some way. It's because I can't believe I don't remember what that's called specifically. But yeah, I know that, they reach out and they used to do calls. They used to send calls. I don't know but I know they still send messages and emails and things like that of what's going on with the NAACP and, and updates and stuff like that. And I got to meet a member of the NAACP, and he came out to my college and spoke at a meeting, and that was really, really cool. Very cool, felt extra good to be black that day. It feels good to be black anyway, but extra good, so that was really, really cool. And I definitely vote for the NAACP Image Awards because I feel like it's the NAACP Image Awards and then the BET Awards. The NAACP Image Awards is basically like the whole hub of black entertainment. You know what I mean? Because it's as far as the big, I don't want to say the big stuff. As far as the big branches, basically the main branches of entertainment. So that's music, that's film, that's TV, that's I don't know if that's stage plays. I know podcasts. I don't know about radio. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe they could add a radio and stage play section, but they just added more categories I believe this year, if I'm not mistaken. So that's something they might look into in the future. But pretty much a lot of different avenues as far as entertainment. Whereas the BET Awards usually focuses on music and maybe TV and film. I'm not sure, but I know for sure music. It's really a music award show, basically. That's pretty much the main vibe and the main, what they talk about during the award show and stuff like that. So love the BET Awards and the NAACP Image Awards. But I mean, the NAACP Awards, Image Awards, it's for our people. You know what I mean? It's not that the BET Awards aren't, but it's just with the name, you know what I mean? It's specific, you know what I mean? So I think that part is really cool. It makes me feel even prouder to be black and to vote for us and to vote, for things we enjoy, the things that we feel should have recognition, and to win, and you know what I mean, to shine a light on and to acknowledge. I think that's really cool. So even though the process, it takes a second, but it's worth it. You know what I mean? It's once a year. You get to you choose a winner. So it's almost like the People's Choice Awards. So they nominate the people, the entertainers, and then you get to choose who you want to win. And of course, whoever gets more votes, they win in those categories. But you get to be a part of that process. You know what I mean? So I think that part is really cool. And then, I don't know. It's just really, really cool. I can't really, put it to words per se. I don't know. It's just really cool to me. It just is. I know I keep saying that, but it really is. And then also this year is really cool because it just depends who gets nominated and what get nominated as far as shows and projects and stuff like that. So it's really cool seeing the projects that I've seen in the past year be nominated and get to vote, for these projects and entertainers. So, and I'm gonna because this is a whole thing in a good way. So this year I voted for and watched Origin in this past year, Origin, The Blackening, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and more. So, I don't know exactly what category it was for, but I know with the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, it was like, I think it was like either like 5 or 6 different people nominated in that category, and only one person was not nominated for that movie. So the rest of the people, the other 4 and 5 entertainers were nominated for that movie. So I was like, that's really cool, basically, for a whole movie to have its own category, basically. So I thought that was cool. Some people, it might say different, but I just feel like that, I think that was really cool in my opinion. And then The Blackening. So The Blackening, I was like, I don't know if I want to see that, you know what I mean? Because scary movies are definitely not my thing. Did not have a good experience with my first experiences with scary movies, but I kind of let somebody pull my leg and I went, you know what I mean? And plus they were like, it's not like it's like a comedy. Like, I don't know the right term for it, but it's a comedy and it's like kind of like a scary movie or a horror film. So it was more funny than scary. So I didn't walk away feeling scared or anything like that. It was really funny, you know what I mean? Even though some of the stuff is like, kind of out there, it was funny. So I got to vote for that, as well as the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, because we do not have a lot of black cartoons, a lot of black animated movies with us either being leading roles, like the animated characters being leading roles, or a full black cast, or most of the cast is black. So I remember I saw that last summer, and it was a really, really good movie. And I mean, especially for us to have a whole movie, Spider-Man is black, in this movie. So, and that's a Marvel movie, you know what I mean? That's part of the Marvel universe, so that's huge. So I definitely wanted to, give my props to that, you know what I mean? And usually I might not talk about who I voted for, but I wanted to talk about these 3 projects specifically that I voted for. So yeah, it was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and then The Blackening I voted for because I thought that was good, and I'm glad it ended up doing well. I think they're in talks of doing a sequel. I remember they did when they were doing their promo run. When they were doing their promo run, they went on the Sherry Show last summer, and that takes me to the next project I'm going to tell you about that I voted for, which is The Origin. So The Origin is a movie that, sometimes you see trailers for movies or you hear about movies and you're like, oh, I'm going to watch it, or that seems cool, and you either forget to watch it or something like that, or support. Because even if you don't go, you can buy a ticket, and it's just something that you're like, dang, I can't believe I let that, I forgot to watch that or support it. Or you might not even know, what it's about per se, or you might not understand the concept, or you know what I mean? So The Origin was really good, and how I found out, not how I found out, I knew it was out because I remember who went on the show. It was somebody who went on the Sherry Show towards the end of last year when it came out in winter. It was promoted. I don't remember who it was exactly. But so I remember that, and I got invited to a screening of it, and I was like, oh, well, this is perfect, you know what I mean? So I went to the screening. When I went to the screening and watched the movie, not only did I learn, because this is based off of a true story, because I think her name is Isabel. So yeah, it's based off of her and her writing her book, which I think released in 2020, about the caste system and learn about the caste. I didn't know about the caste system. I was telling people about it, and they were like, oh yeah, I knew about the caste system. I'm like, I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, I'd never heard of it. I just didn't. I don't know why I didn't hear about it, I mean, yeah, I didn't learn about it in high school. I mean, I took a black African-American class in college, so I don't know why I didn't hear about that. But I'm glad I learned about it now. And learning that racism is basically a branch of the caste system, so learning about that and how... I'm like, do I even... Yeah, I just say this real quick because I'm like, ooh, that's kind of deep, and I don't know if you want to listen or hear that. But, just quickly saying that even how the... what happened with the Nazis and the Holocaust. There we go. I was trying to think of that word. The Holocaust and how that happened. And they learned those tactics and how to make that happen from American culture and how they did slavery. So I'm just like, wow. You know what I mean? And the reason why I know that is because of the movie. And, she did research. And like I said, again, it's based off of a true story. And so like I had no idea about that. And just a lot of details in the movie that I was just like, man. And then I don't remember, like, I'm a July Cancer, okay? Like, we're known for being emotional, okay? And I've pretty much known that, I won't say that I'm emotional, but I would say that I'm in touch with my emotions. But I don't remember ever crying in a movie theater. Like, I might have cried at, like, a show or a movie at home. But, like, and not only that, I cried twice. I'm like, okay, like, this is, you know what I mean? Like, okay, no, I was not ready for this, okay? It was just a lot of touching moments that I wasn't expecting. Like, I'm like, well, this is a true story, so it's out there now. And yeah, so there was 2 deaths. Because I don't want to give too many spoilers, just in case you haven't seen her, you want to see it or whatever. There's 2 deaths that she had that were very close to her. No, 3. Jeez Louise. Yeah, it was 3 people that passed. Lord. I forgot about that. I knew it was multiple. But one of them was her cousin. Her cousin was basically like her sister. She basically grew up with her. And I don't know why, but that made me emotional because she got sick and, Isabel, the main character in the movie, was like, oh no, I'm going to wait, because she wanted to go out the country to do research for, about the caste system. And she was like, oh, I'll stay here with you, I don't have to go right now. And her cousin's like, no, this is very important that you do this, and, that you're telling this story and that you, inform people about this. So she's like, you go. But then when she went, she her cousin's husband ended up, calling her and putting her on the phone. And at that point, she couldn't even talk, her cousin. And Isabel was basically saying goodbye to her, and I was like, oh my God. So that made me emotional. That was sad. That was very sad. And then there's another part in the movie to where, I'm trying to remember this correctly. I know not somehow, but it was a part in the movie where they were talking about, like, baseball players, and this is like, I think this is like the 60s, before the 60s or something like that, or around that time. And it was basically all white baseball team, and it was one black boy, and he really helped the team win, and, very cool with his teammates and stuff like that. And I'm going to say that real quick. I'm gonna put emphasis on that real quick. He was, and he might not have known really about race, but I'm going to use him to make this point. He was the only black child on that team, and was very comfortable and, happy. And I would say I've been the only black person in the room, only person of color in the room, and have felt very comfortable. Not being ignorant to what could possibly happen, or things, that have happened in the past in situations like that, or, so I wasn't oblivious to that. But it was just the vibe and the energy, and that it was welcoming and that it was loving, that I was comfortable. So I don't walk in every room where there's more white people or I'm the only person of color, only black person specifically, and I'm just automatically uncomfortable. It's the vibe, I think some people forget that racism is more than racial slurs or discrimination, or, it's more than, like, the obvious stuff. Like, people forget that microaggressions are very real. So, you saying hi to somebody and they just walk past you and they look at you as you saying hi to them, that's a microaggression. Like, for why are you, just ignoring me and not saying hello back, or even acknowledging that I'm there? Like, that says a lot, Or you try to go over to talk and everybody gets quiet, or you are welcoming and you try to say hi, and, people just kind of brush. It's just like small stuff, and it sounds like, people might be being extra, but that's not the case. It doesn't make sense why those kind of things happen. There's only but a few reasons to why that kind of stuff would happen, and racism is one of those. So I said that to say that I was going to say something else, but that's too recent. It's too recent, and I don't even know what's come from that. I just know I had a good conversation about, and I've had multiple conversations, but I had a good conversation about people feeling comfortable and being treated fairly, and so I'll leave that there, because I don't know where that's at. I don't even know so anyway, yeah, so he going back to the movie. He was the only black boy. This was so irritating to me because again, this is a true story. So not only was it a lot to watch, but knowing that this actually happened, I was just like, what? I know stuff be like wild and stuff that's happened with, you know what I mean? Like I understand, but I'm like, are you serious? Like they it was a hot day. I think it was like during the summer, so they had won the baseball game. So the whole team they had went to a swimming pool, but he couldn't get in the water because he was black, and only they can get in the water, and he had to be outside the gate of the pool, and he was standing there watching them, play baseball, and I'm feeling passionate about it now because it's like, it's one thing to treat somebody like this at all, you know what I mean? But to treat a child like that, I'm just like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, that's, it's literally boiling my blood now because I'm just like, I hate that happened. But that's why it's important for movies like this and conversations like this to keep happening so change can happen. So change can come about. Like stuff then, like we still would be in Jim Crow and segregation if it wasn't for, the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? Like they had conversations and marches and, you know what I mean? So it takes action to get this kind of stuff to not happen anymore or to change it and to lessen it, you know what I mean? To decrease it. But so, and then it was like, well, the coaches, they talked to the pool instructor again because they had talked to him before, like, okay, this is wild, but he was like, nope, we're not going to let him in the pool. And then it was like, okay, the only way that he's going to be in this pool is if everybody gets out because he can't touch the water because I was going to say something else, but, because he can't touch the water. That's what they're saying. And, everybody has to get out the pool, and nobody can be in the pool with him because he's black. So they literally put him on like a paddle board, and the pool instructor made him basically like not move. And no, not basically, he made him not move. And he was like, don't touch that water. Better not touch that water. Don't touch that water, boy. Like that. And I was like, and I don't even like, I'm very particular who I let call me boy and how they say it. Like, I don't, even though I haven't had those experiences, it's for whatever reason, it's triggering to me. Like, I understand what happened in the past, but I don't, so yeah. But yeah, he was saying that, and he just had to sit there and not move on the paddleboard. And so he didn't get to go in the water. So the only way he's going to be in the pool is by not touching it. So I'm just like, that's, so yeah, I got emotional about that. And then I don't know exactly what this symbolized because I'm still learning filmmaking stuff, but of course, this happened in the past and like the, around the civil rights movement. And so I said that to say, so it was a little boy, he was laying down on the ground, and then it was Isabel, her character. So, I mean, this all happened like in the past 10 years or so, this stuff that they're chronicling in the movie. So yeah, she wasn't there with him, so they weren't reenacting that. So I don't know exactly what that symbolized. So it was him laying down on the ground in the grass, and she was laying next to him. And she was like, it's okay, you're all right, you're going to be okay. And I remember the little boy, he didn't say anything. He was laying on his back, and then he turned to his side and just looked at her, and he just shed, a couple tears. And it was just like, it was hard to watch because when you see kids cry, that's, for me, in my opinion, that's hard to watch anyway. But when you see a kid show their emotions through tears, but then not show their emotions at the same time, because it was like he shed tears, but then like there was no look on his face. It was a blank look on his face. It was, so that made me emotional. I was just like, oh my God, that's just, I hate when people do stuff to kids, and I hate when kids are in situations they shouldn't have to be in. That just, even though this wasn't happening in real time, just knowing that happened, it's just so frustrating. But yeah, so yeah, I remember he was in a category for the NAACP Image Awards, and I know I voted for him. So yeah, I mean, even like stuff like, so to be able to be a part of him winning, the movie winning an award, like, it's just really cool. You know what I mean? Like, that's just really cool to me. So yeah. And then moving forward about Bestly Black Excellence, that would have been a good title. But yeah, so I'm recently, probably like a few weeks ago or so, maybe a week or so ago, or maybe 2 weeks, something like that. The quintessential man, let me make sure I'm getting this right. The quintessential gentleman on Facebook, requested that I follow him. You know how people saying like, "Oh, can you like this page? Can you follow this page?" I don't know who runs that page. I haven't looked. You know what I mean? I am so glad they did. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it can feel like spam when people ask you to follow them or like their pages and follow their pages. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. What are they, So I checked their page out. I was like, oh, this is cool. So, I followed them. And I said all that to say that it's so freaking cool to see that, to where people of color and black men specifically are thrown away. In my opinion, it's really cool to see us in a positive light. You know what I mean? Like, for us to be making business moves, for us to be making moves in entertainment, and all these different public figures that are black men. Because it's like, as a black man in America, it's like you danged if you do and you danged if you don't. And you know what I mean when I'm saying dang? You know what I mean? It's like you want to support other communities, and you do, but it's just like you're treated at hello. And when people first meet you, and they, you know what I mean, the energy that they give you and how they treat you sometimes is based off of what they think of black men or what they think of you, So it can be a lot, you know what I mean? Because it's like, no, I'm supporting you. I'm here for you. I'm riding for you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not the enemy. I'm not, you know what I mean? But you kind of, sometimes you treat it like that, or you treat it like the outsider. And it's like, no, I'm here with you. I'm here to fight the fight with you. Different communities and different cultures, So and then also, I mean, how black men are represented on reality TV, and it's like, yeah, the stuff they're saying is true. There's more to us than, and when I say us, I don't mean me. I'm just saying us because I'm a black man. But as a collective, and generally speaking, there's more to black men than cheating and scandal and criminal activities. You know what I mean? There's more to us than that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So that is, it's very frustrating. You know what I mean? And then even like small stuff on the news, not small stuff, because it adds up. On the news, if somebody does something illegal that's a black man, oh, they're a thug. But if it's a white man, oh, it's a criminal, or something that's not as a harsh word as a thug. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's frustrating. And then you're supposed to be a provider, quote unquote. And, and it's just like, okay, as an adult, you're supposed to provide as it is for yourself and for your, for your kids. You know what I mean? So I don't feel like that's fair in my opinion. I know people have some back in the day opinions. But for me, Luke speaking, I don't feel like that's fair to put that on men. And I don't know why, but in my opinion, I feel like it has more emphasis on black men. And for me, I don't feel like a provider is just a father. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it takes way more to be a father than just a provider. Like, I know some people are like, oh, well, yeah, he's a good provider, so yeah, he's a good father. No. Being a good provider is a good provider. I'm not trying to take that away from them as a parent, but it's more than that to be a parent and to be a father specifically. Like, it's more, because what else are you providing? Okay, yeah, you're providing financial comfort and financial stability, but are you providing emotional, mental stability? We can go on a whole tangent because, okay, like, we can go on a whole tangent about that, but so that to say, it's really good to see the quintessential gentleman on Facebook and to see black men in a positive light. It makes me even prouder and encourages me to keep going in the stuff that I'm trying to do, the positive stuff as a black man, and to see other black men winning and supporting each other and in a positive light. You know what I mean? Because we got to equal out the balance. We got to equal it out. If you're going to talk about black men and stuff that we do that's not good and that's negative, okay, you need to talk about the stuff that we're doing positively just as much, if not more. Like, you got to equal the playing field. That's only right. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And I don't say that in a misogynistic way at all. I'm just speaking from a black man's perspective. Like I was saying before, women in other communities and cultures, like women, they are people who I support as well. And I am an ally as well. So I don't mean that in that way at all. I just mean that there is a lot of positivity and a lot of positive things about black men that I want to show more. You know what I mean? Not just for me as a black man, but for my kids. You know what I mean? Like my cousins. You know what I mean? Like the people who I've been around and who I am around. To know that there is a healthy and positive space for black men in this world. You know what I mean? We are important. We matter. Our lives matter as well. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I know it's talking about, stuff that black men are doing professionally, but it's just, it's definitely a good step, in my opinion, a good step for black men, and to encourage me too, because I'm like, dang, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to do this and do that and help and be this, supportive for this and ally for this, and it's just like, so it just feels like it doesn't either matter or change anything, or so it just, this page, honestly just encouraged me to keep going and fighting the good fight for other people and communities and cultures, but for me and for black men and for people of color and black people. So yeah, and I didn't even talk to them. I haven't even talked to anybody on that page who runs the page or anything. That's just something I wanted to talk about. So please go and follow the Quintessential Gentleman on Facebook. They have like 20-something thousand followers, I believe. So have a big following. So they've been around for a second. And that's what I would think. So definitely might want to go. Even if you're not a black man, if you're not black, even if you're not a man. I think if somebody's trying to date a man or something, or be around a man or in men's life or whatever, I think it could be cool to see them in a positive light too, and kind of, either restore that hope or, I don't know, I think it can be positive for everybody. So yeah, so I will leave that there. But yeah, definitely feels extra good to be a black man following the quintessential gentleman. So that's really cool. And so since this episode is a part of its title, the NAACP, I'm giving them a free plug, just like I did with these movies and the Quintessential Gentleman. Please be sure to watch the 55th NAACP Image Awards that will be airing live this Saturday in 2 days on CBS and BET at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, make sure y'all go watch. I don't even know what I'm watching because I have all streaming services, so I had to figure that out. But yeah, if it's CBS, it should be on probably like Paramount Plus or something. Because they got the Grammys on Peacock, so they gonna have, they gonna have something. They gonna have it on something. So I don't know what streaming service is gonna be on. So if you can't watch it live, you can do YouTube TV live. You can do, I think, Sling or Pluto TV. I don't know. Don't quote me, but make sure you watch it somehow live, because it's gonna. NAACP Image Awards is always a good time, good performances, a good kiki, a good laugh, good speeches, because y'all saw that speech that Angela Bassett gave, okay? So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good family reunion virtually if you're not there at the awards in LA. So yeah, make sure you watch this Saturday on CBS and BET. And thank you for listening to Family Talk and to the NAACP Image Awards and Black Male Public Figures in 2024 discussion.
Hey, it's Brenda Sanders.
What's up? It's your boy Luke P. Sanders. Thank you for listening to our podcast, Family Talk. Be sure to follow us at Family Talk Limited Podcast on Facebook.